Recording in progress.
Watercooler. Ba 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 da. Watercooler. Watercooler. Ba 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 da. Hey, welcome to Watercooler. Oh yeah! Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us this week. You know how the show goes. I, Chris Locks, I'm gonna kick it Philly style with my cruel digital buds of yesteryear. With me today, all the way in Orange County, California, we have Gary Smith.
Howdy, juror number 6.
I have a lot to say. I don't know what I'm legally allowed to say, so we're just
Allowed
gonna
to say whatever the fuck you want.
we're just gonna exercise it. But yeah, yes and no. I'll tell you all about it because we talked about on the Patreon of how I had to miss my Disneyland trip to serve a report for jury duty. So
I have not spoken to you since then. So
yeah.
that was
what, 5 days ago?
at least.
Okay.
Was it was a work trip to Disneyland?
No.
Oh, that sucks, man.
He's trying to make memories for his son.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You
It
know.
was pretty epic. He called
me.
to check on his jury duty in between the free show and the Patreon and announced to us that if he was free, he was going to Disneyland. And then moments before we started Patreon, he discovered no Disneyland.
Yeah.
Some of the saddest mouth licks you've ever heard.
Yeah, I
It was
bet.
it was a minor
I could
key for
tell
sure.
in these mouth licks that we just received, he's not fully recovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you guys can just tell my mood now based on my mouth licks and what's going on with my life.
Dude, you're an
Based on my mouth
open
licks.
you're an open mouth.
I'm an open
Some
lick.
people are an open book, you know?
Well, those voices you're hearing, everybody, I didn't introduce him yet, but all the way in Austin, Texas, that voice is Mr. Matt Foneliers.
Hey, brother.
There it is. And then all the way in North Hollywood, California, it's Mike Dawson.
Yes, it is. And he's happy to be here.
You
Speaking
are
of
happy.
himself in the third person.
Well, look, before I get talking about jury
Keanu's not
duty-
here.
Oh, yeah, Keanu's not here. Sorry. Before I start talking about jury duty, Dawson, you said you're
You
happy to
said
be
duty.
here. I did say duty.
Because it's like poop.
What? I hear you have some good news.
I got some good news today. It's not like great news, life-changing news, but it is going to change my life for
Sounds like life-changing news.
for almost 5 days.
Let's go.
It's week.
So I fortunately have this killer side job where I go on cruises and introduce bands, and it's just rad. And I just had to, do my pre-boarding stuff and get ready for this cruise that leaves next weekend. And it gave me my cabin number, and the cabin said balcony, and I'm like, no, they didn't. So I Googled the cabin number along with the ship. My balcony is on deck 9 at the very back of the boat watching everything go away. I got a tiny room. There are only like 6 rooms on this angle. And for the first time, I will enjoy chilling in my room and escaping noise without napping.
Hell yeah.
I get to. I'm so excited, dude. I'm so for 4 days. I will just. It's a 5-day cruise, but they kick you off the boat at 7:00 in the morning.
Now,
Can I ask what perhaps is a stupid question? Deck 9, is that going to be you're celebrating the lack of noise? Or are we concerned about being too close to the engines?
Oh, I'm not. I'm not at all. If I hear an engine hum, it'll help me sleep anyway.
Okay, good.
But if I hear percussive noise and stuff like that, and you really can't totally escape. You can't escape it.
Is there also
But there'll be the sound of outside, and I just get to watch.
That's
the
one of
water.
my favorite
It's gonna
sounds.
be fucking great, dude. I'm
The
so
sound of
happy.
outside.
I'm so happy about it. So I must have done something right or impressed someone because, they only have a handful of these balconies, and somebody likes me today.
Hell yeah. Congratulations,
Yeah,
brother.
congrats. I
I'm
love that you're
stoked.
still all about that cruise life, man. I miss it dearly.
I'm on 2 a year. I'm trying to get on the third one, the Marquis, the Cadillac, the Monsters of Rock, but they have like 15 announcers. They don't need me. And giving me a cabin takes away one they could sell. And that cruise sells out every year. So somebody's got to
Sounds to me like we need
Die,
to
I
fucking
guess.
Nancy Kerrigan, some fucking DJs, man.
Yeah. Good thing I work in an industry where people aren't that healthy.
Matt, you
And,
can't Kerrigan them. They can still speak. You have to
I
hit
realized
with a
it when I
fucking
said
karate
it.
chop to the neck.
Yeah, that's true. A broken leg is not going to stop you from spinning some tunes. And
that'd be
making
a Bruce Lee
announcements.
Kerrigan.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's next week. And I'm finally legitimately excited about it.
Dude, I'm so pumped for you, man.
Yeah,
I
dude,
hope you have
I am
the
too.
best time.
Back of the boat, baby.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
Dawson just sneakily announce that he'll be missing Watercooler?
Yep, next week.
Totally fine. I get it. That's a good way to
You
do
heard it here first, folks.
That's
Same time that we did.
See, it's a lot better doing it that way than
I mean, it was
dropping
celebratory.
it.
I told you I had good news.
He
Yeah,
got us all pumped, like that he was going to miss work, and you know, the way he did that was clever. I liked it.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to try to get out of work, just back when I was a waiter, I would have to plant the seed early. Like, oh, do you have any Tylenol or something? I feel like something's coming on.
Yeah.
Like, the day before, or 2 days
Classic.
before. Then so when I do call out, no questions asked. And considering how bad of a liar I am, I mean, we tried my COVID getting out of jury reenactment on the Patreon.
Yeah,
I'm not great. I'm not great at it. So being able to plant that seed early is smart. So Doss, I'm pumped, man. I hope you have a great time on the cruise. Please tell us any stories, like if somebody falls off the boat.
Right, I'll make sure. I'll make sure that actually happened. That actually happened like 3-4 weeks ago. Tragic story. Tammy Down's fiance jumped off the boat. She jumped off the balcony.
I'm sorry
she jumped off.
I only say that because I have a
At night.
personal story about. Wow, that really was a downer.
Horrible.
One time, Dawson went on a cruise and he got back, and I was prepping a show with Adam Carolla, and he's like, "Did you talk to Dawson about his cruise?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said it was fine. It's like, "You didn't ask him for a specific story. Why didn't you ask him? Somebody could have fallen off the boat." And I called Dawson, like, "Did somebody fall off the boat?" He's like, "No, nothing happened." And I'm like, "Damn it, dude." I don't know.
But on that cruise, I did tell you, and Adam decided not to go with this story. Maybe it was the one after, but on this one cruise, somebody completely shit themselves in the theater during a show.
Oh yeah.
And that was an awful thing.
Oh yeah, I had that story in the hopper, and once I finally got a story out of you, he's like,
You didn't go to that.
I don't want it.
Yeah. I don't either, honestly.
Well, Doss,
breaking news: someone took a shit during
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
It's breaking news. All right, well, Doss, that is awesome news that you're doing that, and you got a balcony, and you get a nice view of everywhere that you've been.
And the other cool thing that you guys will totally understand is I've been working with this company for like 4 years now, and it's always the same people, and I get to see them twice a year, and it's so much fucking fun.
Yeah,
it's not even. I can't believe I get paid to do this. It's ridiculous.
That's how I feel about this show. All right, well, let's keep the good news train going. Gary, you said you have something you want to talk about.
Yeah, my dog's going in for surgery tomorrow, and I'm really fucking upset and scared about it. So
What surgery?
I don't know if that's good news. Well, okay, let's bring it around to it is good news. My dog has had for a couple of weeks now, at least since we noticed it, a lump showing up on her snout, and it will change in size. It's gotten very big, and then it will recede back down. And it took us a little while to get her into the vet, and when we finally did, thankfully, it's not a tumor or anything like that, but rather an infected tooth and an infected thing in there, and that's why it's changing size. So tomorrow she'll be going in, she'll be going under for a teeth cleaning, and they'll be removing that tooth and whatever is associated with it that's causing this lump. And while we're at it, she's got like a few like skin tags around her eyes and stuff that they're just going to clean up because she's already going to be under. So it's a relatively safe and not worrisome procedure, but that's my dog, and I don't I'm a wreck at work.
Right.
I have to leave for work. She'll be at my house like she is every day when I leave for work, and hopefully by the time I get home she'll be home, but I'm going to be sitting in downtown Los Angeles freaking out all day tomorrow. But I'm lucky that I have some people at work that I'm really close friends with, and I kind of warned them and said, I need you to spend tomorrow keeping it light, and let's go out to lunch and let's talk about anything but that, and try to laugh. I'm confident that that's what will happen, and it'll be okay. But it's going to be a long day of just sitting there waiting for the phone call to tell me that it's all okay. So
Yep.
I'm a little stressed about that, but it is what it is. It's putting dogs under for teeth cleaning is not like abnormal. So
Right.
I'm trying to keep a modicum of comfort in that, but it's always scary. This is the first time I've had to do that to my dog. I've certainly had other animals that I've had to have procedures done for, so it doesn't really make it any easier. But yeah, it's so but
You just
also
you don't want them to feel any sort of discomfort or pain anyway. So just the fact.
no, not at all. No, not at all. And but I am somewhat relieved in that that was a long couple of weeks where it was just this lump that would get bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller, like that shit. So like the fact that it's not some sort of cancerous tumor of some sort, like that part was a big relief. But getting through, she goes into surgery tomorrow at noon. And my wife is hoping that she'll be called to pick her up sometime around 4:30. So getting from where we sit right now to that phone call 22 hours or so from now, hopefully, it's going to be a long time. I'm better tonight than I will be tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be rough.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
I'll check in on you, and I'm sure. I mean, these are professionals. It's gonna go great, and everything's gonna be fine. But yeah, this whole period of just waiting for it is tough.
Well,
everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. But what I find helps is a balcony on the back of the boat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have
you try that.
I don't have one of those, but I do think I might have a half a Xanax lying around. I might try that.
There you go. There you go.
How about this? Dawson on a balcony in the back of a boat.
That will help when he gets there.
Yeah.
What was that?
Tomorrow.
Was there a movie called Better Living Through Chemistry or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the
I'm on board, dude. Go for it. Yeah.
Well, Chris, I appreciate
half a Xanny. Have a good day.
Just it'll take the edge off a little bit. But Chris, I appreciate the check in on me tomorrow. That's very nice. I have not checked in on you, so can we pivot now? In a
moment. I still have my questions about your dog right now. So when you saw the lump, was it one of those things where you had to wait for it to get big before the doctor could believe you? Because and I swear it was there, because I had something similar with my gout attacks, where I went to a doctor. I was like, I'm having crazy gout flare-ups and I can't walk, and it's the most painful thing ever. I can't sleep. But she's like, well, where is it? I'm like, well, it's gone now. She's like, well, I can't prescribe you anything until I see it. I'm like, so I have to get another one for you to believe me? And
I can imagine that was pretty tough. No. My sister-in-law is a professional dog trainer and runs a great dog boarding and training facility in
that's right.
County. So if anyone is in the market for that in Orange County, hit me up and I'll give you the details. It's called Royal Canine. But the day that it was pointed out to me, she was over, and my wife pointed to this thing and said, I kind of noticed this. It's it was hard, the lump. It was not like a soft thing, which I think was both encouraging and also discouraging, because it's like, it doesn't, it's for a hard lump to show up, like that's weird. It almost felt like bone. It's like, oh God, like what's happening here? I thankfully did not see it at its biggest. My wife says that at one point it got so big that she was worried that she was going to not be able to see out of one of her eyes.
Holy shit.
I never saw it that big, but it stayed pronounced enough pretty much at all times that the doctor, I knew once we got her into the vet, which, I said a few weeks, I think it might've been more like 10 days. It felt like 2 years to me, because it was like the day that we saw it, I wanted to put her in the car and take her right then. But, I have a full-time job, and so I sort of had to leave it up to when my wife could fit it into her schedule and get the appointment. So by the time we got her to the vet, it was, I got a text message within about 15 minutes. Like, it's not as scary as we didn't even really talk about what we thought it could be, because I think we both just didn't want to put that juju into the world. So the message that I got at the first vet appointment was not as scary as it could have been. And, we already have it set up and scheduled to have it fixed. And my wife told me a few weeks, and I think in reality it was more like 10 days. So that's the other thing, is that I didn't find out that it was happening tomorrow until yesterday, and I was sold a few weeks, so I thought it was still 10 or 12 days out. But I'm happy that it's tomorrow. I don't want to wait,
Yeah, and hopefully
Good,
you
yeah.
won't be
Thinking about it.
busy at work and everything too.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of work, so I've not had to work since Wednesday of last week.
No.
Yeah, as we alluded to, I've had to report.
That's good work if you can get it.
I was summoned.
Oh,
I
no,
was
it's not.
summoned.
No, it's not. It's
Okay,
terrible work.
that's right. That's right.
$70 a day.
Oh, dude.
I have been summoned. That's right. Usually when you're summoned, it's pretty sweet. I don't know how you guys feel about.
It's never sweet when you're summoned, dude.
It's never sweet.
It's never.
I don't think
If you
so,
are
dude.
summoned, you are subservient.
I guess you're
Only
right.
the subservient are summoned.
I don't get summoned enough.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe I
think
just.
the only good summoning is a booty call, which are far in the
That's
rearview
pretty
mirror for the
sweet.
three of us.
Tell us about that, Gary.
Yeah, tell us about
I
the time you
can't
were summoned.
remember. I mean, it was
Oh, nice.
so long ago,
Nice
but
Gary Talks
I do-
recovery.
I do recall one particular live show that we did at the Irvine Improv that I was down there for working, and at the time, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, said, why don't you come over here after? I went, yes, please, and thank you. And
That was a
pretty good
summons.
summoning.
That's a
That
good
was
summons.
a good summoning. That's true.
Yeah, that's some top.
I saw
top
good
notch summoning.
summons open up for Sum 41 back in.
Was Chris there?
Shit, I was at
Yeah,
Shoreline.
that sounds like a show I go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good summons was fucking good, dude. Solid. Little ballady, but still
Oh
fucking
yeah, I know
solid.
that album. Yeah, they're probably trying to promote that one album. Didn't really do well. All right, so I am currently, as I said, I don't really know how much I'm legally allowed to tell because I don't want them looking for this podcast. Because I mean, why wouldn't they? But I'm still in the jury selection process.
Still. Oh.
You're allowed to say whatever you want.
Okay, cool.
There are rules once you're seated, but you're not seated yet. If you're still in the selection process, then you can talk about that publicly.
Well, anyway, it's a fairly serious case, so that's why they're deliberating so thoroughly. But man, it is just hearing a bunch of people talk about themselves, people you don't know, people you've never met, for quite a while, getting personal, getting so basically, I don't know if anybody. I mean, I imagine a lot of the listeners have served or have at least reported to. Yeah, actually, let me rewind it.
I've been where you are about 2 years ago.
Yeah, let me rewind just a touch because this is actually what's upsetting me the most. And
Disneyland.
I feel like Matt is. I don't know. I think Matt may be in this, and excuse me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I feel like you're in this pool of people that when I tell them,
I don't like where this is going.
when I tell them, hey, I just got summoned for jury duty and I've reported and I'm having an awful time, and their response is, oh, I can't believe you went. I just throw mine out every time they mail them to me. I've never been. I've never called. I've never done any of that. What are you talking about? And I just feel like the biggest sucker. Like, what? Oh yeah, and I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
I appreciate you
just associate
thinking that I am so wise, but I promise you, I am a sucker like you. I've been to every
Okay.
time I've gotten summoned, and it's fucking
Sorry,
horrible.
then. I'm
And
sorry.
what I was going to ask you, Chris, is because when you get summoned at first, you sit in a room and you can read and you can play on your phone. But if you are in the jury selection process, that means they called your name and you had to go into an actual courtroom.
Yeah.
And so my question to you, and it sounds like I already know the answer, is now 2, 3, 4 days into this, are you not allowed to be on your phone or
There's a
doing
no
anything?
phone.
You have to be attentive.
You have to be attentive. There's like a
even
no
though they're just
phone
questioning
sign.
people that will never even be on this jury.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Ugh.
And
Yeah, I've been there. It's
yeah,
awful.
So I'm just.
Are
I
you
think-
allowed to have a notepad?
Yes, I'm sure you could. Yeah, but nobody has. Whatever.
No, I
just
think you
sitting there.
could. You could write
At
some
least
letters.
you can
to
do some
Jeff Blake.
drawings or something.
So
Write a
here-
letter to
so-
Dear Abby.
Yeah, so for those who don't know the process, you could put in in my case there are 18 jurors in this box. They're looking for 12 and 4 alts, right?
Ooh.
So there are
So you
18
got-
people that are
oh,
being
dude.
interviewed, and they go one by one. They're passing a microphone. They're a conch basically, but like a microphone that just like only if you have.
It
the
sounded like you
microphone-
said they were cunts, and then I
you
realized
allowed
you
to
said
speak?
that they're conch. It's a conch.
Lord of the Flies reference,
Yeah.
Matt. So, and if only you're only allowed to talk if you have this microphone, and they ask you, I forget what it's called. What's it called, Gary? It's like a French.
Voir dire.
What is it?
Voir dire.
Voir dire, yeah.
The left one, but the right one kind of bothers me a little bit too.
Yeah. I needed that.
Claudia.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
And basically that is they go one by one. They ask you, who are you? Where are you from? What's your occupation? What's your marital status? What's your spouse's occupation? And if you are, and then basically, do you know?
Have you ever been the victim of a crime?
Victim of a crime? Do you know anybody in law enforcement? Do you know any attorneys? Things like that. And
So when you drop that gear, it goes bomb, baby.
I have an ace in the pocket, man.
So
Ace in the hole.
Damn
Chris,
it.
by the way
Yeah,
you're telling this,
It's in
by the
my,
way you're telling
well, my
this
pocket's
story,
going to be a hole.
by the way you're telling this story, you're where I was for the whole process, where you, I assume, have not been in that box yet. You're just forced to sit here and watch all these other people. I was going to say idiots, but all these other citizens just be questioned, and you've just been a pure spectator this whole time.
Yeah, correct. So day one, that's what happened. And this is what bothered me the most. So they sit down and they have this laminated piece of paper with all those questions on it. And the judge goes, okay, can you answer these questions? And they'd read them and they'd answer them. And I'm not kidding. It went down to like juror number 15. And each juror it was as if it's the first time they've ever seen this paper. They've listened to 14 other people answer this. And then it's like, all right, can you go through the questions? Sure. My juror number is 8724. I'm a barista. Not married. And I'm like, everybody just answered this question. Everybody just did this way before you. And it's happening the whole day. The whole day. And I was like, are you kidding me? Speed it up.
I
would have already been held in contempt of court.
What is happening right now?
This is what happens. And my conclusion when I went through this arduous process was that people, especially like once you get into the middle of the pack, people are so pissed off they've been waiting the whole time that they're like, I got the conch. These people are gonna wait.
That's my next point. So after this is happening, and by the way, every juror, it was like I felt like I was in a prank show or something.
Correct.
I've seen the show. So I'm like, where are these cameras? Who are these people? It's Kirk Fox here. It's James Marsden here. And so they're trying to answer these questions, and then they're like, some people are like, I have the microphone. I'm going to do a type 5.
Yeah.
And I'm
my
going to
time
make
to
people
shine.
laugh. I'm going to try to get people, and I'm going to entertain. I remember
They actually do bits and stuff, really?
One time, it went up to a guy, and they're like, what's your occupation? He goes, fun employed.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
These people.
Guy.
Here's the thing, and I can't.
Here's the worst part. There was some confusion. The judge like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh no!
And then it's like, I'm fun employed, and there are now groans in the audience.
Feedback in the mic when he says that?
And then the judge like, I don't understand what that is. And then somebody else had to go, he's unemployed and he's trying to be funny.
Yeah, good,
you have to,
good.
Explain it.
By the way, that's me.
But you're right, Chris. It's their stage time. They're getting stage time.
Dude, like
for the first time, all eyes and ears are on them, and
Dawson,
they want to control the room.
Dawson, it gets worse because the further you go in the process, the more pissed off people are that they've been listening to these other idiots. So they've been writing. So you get to the end of day one, and they think they've got gold.
It's a workshop by the end of it. Yeah. So, like. And remember, you can only talk if you have the mic.
They're going to workshop new bits.
So one of the questions asked was like,
they're just writing in their head.
Right.
One of the questions was asked was like, have you ever been in the back of a police car? And someone said no. But then like juror number 2 will raise his hand. Like, okay, got to pass the mic all the way over there. I had a DUI and I had to ride in the back of a cop car. Okay, great. Thank you for letting us know. And somebody else like, ooh, so pass the mic over to him. I was in South Dakota and I got really drunk and a cop drove me home. I mean, I wasn't in trouble, and then got a couple laughs, and so it's like ooh. Someone raised their hand, so we pass over by this person. It's like
that's like one-upping.
I was just a little kid, but we got our car had to be towed, and the cop drove us home. But my grandma had to walk.
Jesus Christ!
And, and
then you get the guy.
Why do we care about this? This is not what we're doing here.
Then you get the guy. No. At least I've had this experience where it's like, well, one time I went to a Cops and Coffee, and they had a car there that you could sit in. so I sat in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's stuff.
no.
It's just like this is not pertinent.
I would
to what
I
we're
would
doing
love
here.
I would have loved
lose it.
to have been. I haven't been this far in the jury process. In fact, Chris, I've ignored them but by mistake. I called like 2 days too late and said, "Oh fuck, I was supposed to report for jury duty." Or I did the first day and I didn't the second day. And then the third day, I called up and the message said, "You are released." I'm like, "Oh, sweet. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe you do ignore it."
Yeah.
But if I was in that room, I'm a little jealous because I would have loved to say, "Yeah, I was arrested for grand theft felony."
Well, see, I would see. Dawson wants to do
That would have
10-5.
been fun to
Dawson.
say.
I would have dove. I would have
Dawson's
dove.
practicing his 5 right now.
I'm ready, dude. I'm fucking ready. I do not want to serve on a jury, please God.
And then
Never.
this part really confused me. One of the questions was, if you find out somebody is affiliated with a street gang, what are your first thoughts? Are you concerned? What's happening? Nobody's concerned. All 18 people. No, everybody's equal. We're fine. I'm like, they're in a street gang. You have no thoughts. You have no everybody's.
People are trying to be woke about it.
I know people are
Well,
street
Chris,
gangs are cool.
That begs the question: if you find out somebody's in a street gang, what are your thoughts?
I'm concerned, dude. If I find out that somebody's in a street gang, my curiosity is piqued, and I would like to know more about any shenanigans that are happening.
Yeah.
Like,
Be sure that you say shenanigans, Your Honor.
Well, Matt, can I suggest a slight edit? Maybe tomfoolery.
Yeah.
that's fine. I'll look. I feel like people weren't really being honest because it was.
Hmm.
They would get follow-up questions like, so you have no thoughts? Like, nope, no thoughts. Someone's in a street gang. It's based on their environment. Everybody, and they get on their high horses. They go on for 5-minute diatribes
Oh, no.
about how everybody's different. We got to treat everybody the same based on their character. And it's like they're accepting an Oscar, and they're just and everyone's just nodding along like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then someone's like, oh, so would you mind if like your daughter was in a street gang? Oh no, I wouldn't want that. Oh well, then why not? And then. Or like, oh no, I wouldn't associate myself with a street gang. I wouldn't ever want to be associated with one. But I mean, they're fine. They're like, it's like, okay, that's not. Be honest here. Like, what are you doing?
Sir, we have here on the record, even though you're against gangs, you're affiliated with something called the Bobo Boy Army worldwide.
no,
Can
man,
you
LLC.
please tell us, LLC, can you please
One
tell us a little
person-
more about that?
One person was even like, oh, we have gangs at work. What? Yeah. I have no problems with gangs. We have gangs at work. Well, I mean, we call our groups gangs. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna hook out. That gang's working on this in this project, and that gang's working on that. It's a little
Not the
different.
same thing, dude.
That's
Not the same
That's
thing.
what they're doing. This is the type of people. Like, so imagine me just sitting there. I have not been asked one question in 5 days, and I'm just
God.
sitting, listening to all this. You want to talk about tomfoolery? That's what this is, and
Chris, I did this exact thing. And when I was going to be next, when it was my time with the conch, they sat the final alternate, and I was just,
And then, yeah.
was so pissed.
I would be. Yeah.
I had that ace in my hole as well, and I knew for sure that I was out, and I never got my time with the conch.
You just had to watch every
So
other
sad.
fucking asshole go up there and say stupid shit.
dude, there are some stories that were told, Doss, that you're just like, what? Why are we doing this right now? Why? And they're getting laughs, which is the worst part.
That
so
is
maybe,
the worst part.
Maybe I'm the one that's
No,
but yeah, they're
no,
getting,
you're not.
they're
It's
killing.
funny if they had.
Just get a
Did
joke
they
corner
ask-
ready.
Did they
Just have
ask
it
if
ready.
you? Did they ask if you know anybody who is gang affiliated? I mean,
yeah.
and actually, still haven't gone up yet, right?
I haven't, but yeah, I have not.
How many jurors have they picked?
I mean, I don't want to say too much about it. Just
Actually, you should, because this is your ace in the hole on getting out of it.
yeah, but then
Well, I
feel-
just talked about this entire case on a podcast that 40,000 people listen to.
more than that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I like to undersell it.
It's cool. Anyway, it's just been a fun process, and I miss Disneyland for it. I'm just sitting there, like, oh my god, I have to come in tomorrow. I have to come in tomorrow every day.
It sounds like it's been fun bearable.
But it is. I'll tell you a fun game I have been doing is I'm guessing what they're going to say before they say it.
Oh, yeah,
what
you
their
have to.
occupation is, how long they've been doing it, things like that, and I'm getting pretty good at reading people, so that part's
Nice.
at least getting strong. But anyway, that is my jury duty
I'm sorry, dude.
fun. But so imagine
you're
me
back
now
tomorrow?
hearing all my friends going, "Oh, dude, I throw mine in the trash. I was gonna get in the mail. Never even gone.
Oh,
No consequences, nothing. All my
Chris.
life, all my life."
That's for sure Kaylin, right?
I think so.
Yeah, sorry again, Matt. I didn't mean to put you.
That's all right. That's all good.
Not catching strays because Kaylin's not here.
I
Man.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, it bothered me even more.
So are you back tomorrow, Chris?
I shall return.
Oh
yeah,
God.
good.
It's like a Marvel.
Just keep it in your mind, Chris. Balcony on the back of the boat. Just keep it in your visualize that, and you'll get through this.
Now, we talked about this on the Patreon. Are you going to mention the fact that you didn't go to Disneyland as a result of being called in? You know, is there an angle? You said you were going to actually wear some Disney paraphernalia to the courthouse and then explain that was why you needed to be excused.
I am going to wear my Mickey ears, and I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing. There are other people who have like longer and more serious vacations planned, and they did announce that this is going to be a kind of a long case. So, and they have not given an F for these people. Like, oh no, they're going to be on. I think we'll be done by then. Like, it's like, oh yeah, we think we'll be done by then.
Fuck, that sucks, dude.
And yeah, and they're like, people are like flying to Europe. People are flying like such like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. But they did go on this thing because some people are like, oh, this is really going to be really strenuous on my team at work. And I used to feel that way when I would get called when I was doing the podcast. As I said, like, oh, I feel like I need to be there. Like, I can't be here right now because there's not a lot of people.
Because you work with idiots, you can't handle it.
There's not a lot of people
dude.
who can cover for Chris when he's unavailable. So I
For who?
for Chris, I don't know. I
was gonna have you play the drop, but
damn it.
Chris!
So
Hey, there we
I know, I love it.
yeah, you can't hear that
Chris!
from Long Beach.
So
Maybe you can. I don't know.
So somebody mentioned that, and the lawyers went on a diatribe of their own where they're like, look, this country only asks you of two things if you're not in the military. There are people here who have been in the military, and they've made a huge sacrifice, but we only ask you for two things.
Half your income and this.
That's exactly right. Taxes and jury duty.
Yeah.
So please, like, honor this. This is all part of being a citizen. And like, so basically we don't give an F. Like, you gotta do it, which makes me even more mad about those people who throw their summons away.
Damn.
All right. Well, anyway, look, we got brighter news. We have This Is How You Remind Me.
Yeah.
I got a bussin' makes me feel good. We got stuff to do. We got stuff to do. So why don't we do This Is How You Remind Me, because Matt has worked really hard cutting this clip. And I, for one, would like to hear it. So
Well, let's set it up. This comes
let
from
me play the intro, and then we'll set it up.
Okay.
This is how,
Got to play that intro, baby.
this is how you remind me of the podcast we had.
I do like that if I play that drop rhythmically, it sounds like you're chanting my name.
Yeah.
Chris!
You're starting a chant.
Yeah, it is.
like an I'm Spartacus.
It's the right tone. It's the right tone for the chant. Yeah.
All right, if
That's
I do
actually
anything
that's actually what he was doing all along.
that may have been. It's just an isolated chant. All right, Matt, set it up.
Yeah, so usually we play clips from our podcast that's available here on the free feed, because you can go all the way back to the very beginning of time, and we want to encourage people to go back and listen to the older episodes. But something else that we do here on the Water Cooler is our movie clubs. Back in the day, we used to call them movie nights. So they're a little bit different. We changed the format. We used to do a thing where you had to put the movie on and our commentary on at the same time, and then you would hear us comment on it in real time. Now we do it a little bit differently. We all watch the movie first, and then we just do like a regular podcast afterward. So all of this to say, here's a clip.
The next of which, by the way, is coming up this very week on Wednesday.
That's right.
Evening for Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/watercooler. we're doing our Mall of Money meetup where those at the highest tier can hang with us on Zoom for 40 minutes or so, and then we roll right into our movie night or movie club rather, as Matt said both titles there recently. And this month we're watching Friday as selected by Mike Dawson
on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe we'll release it on a Friday. I don't know. That's to be decided.
Yeah,
later.
Matt, I'm surprised you haven't complained at all for like me picking 8 Mile in October. We're watching Friday on Wednesday, and you have not said one word.
I was saving it. I was saving it.
It comes out on Wednesday, Matt. Movie clubs come out same day.
So this is a really long setup. I'm so sorry. But there is an infamous movie night for a movie called Hush, which speaking of October, it was a Halloween movie that I chose. And Chris and Gary do not like horror movies. I don't think you were there, Dawson, but you probably have heard.
No, but I listened to this 8 times.
Okay, great. So you know what to expect.
I'm totally familiar.
You can actually recite it all.
So again, what you're going to hear is supposed to be played in real time with the movie, but I promise you, you don't really need to for after like 10 seconds of this.
Okay, so this is us watching Hush.
I turned my headphones completely off. I'm just hearing the sound in your guys' headphones. And I hate this.
That is finger trauma.
Finger trauma. Don't look.
Don't look at
Oh no.
Gee, the last 60 seconds have been Gary and my worst nightmare. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Oh
I
no.
love it.
What have I done?
That's like they're gonna love this and they're gonna love scary movies. That.
I knew how this was going. A long time ago, I knew how this was going.
Oh, it's so
Again,
Matt. I
people
appreciate
are enjoying the Halloween season right now.
No, we're not.
fucking Halloween.
No, we're not.
Just because you and your fucking wife want to decorate your house 9 weeks before the holiday does not mean that Chris and I should be fucking subjected to this on our stupid show where we drink White Claws and laugh. You fucking piece of shit.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Kaylin, you officially never get to pick a movie. The system
kid, you
is
lost your privileges because of Matt.
irrevocably broken. Matt, by the way.
I promise I'll pick a less scary horror movie.
Oh, promise rejected because you will not be picking shit.
Oh man, yep. I just relived through that trauma again. I remember
There
turning
you go.
off my headphones and just hearing the your guys' headphones just surrounding me, and like just a little more. It's a lot more tinny and a lot quieter. I remember doing that for The Hills of Eyes. I remember just like putting in earplugs. It's like I don't even want to hear this right now.
So was that one of the first few movie clubs? Because
I think it's like number 5. It's definitely one of the very first ones.
yeah, because that my assertion that Kalen was banned from picking movies there suggests that he had not gotten to pick one yet. So that was early on. Yeah, good times. Not
Do you recall picking that to turn Gary and I onto horror movies and just kind of see if it will ignite a love?
My thought behind it was I knew it was a movie that did not have a lot of dialogue in it. And so my thought was, oh, this is something that we can kind of talk over and talk during, and we're not going to really be missing that much. And also, it was approaching Halloween. I don't know what month it was released in, but it had to be in that range somewhere. I was trying to pick a different genre than what other people had chosen. And I was just sweating the entire time because I could see how uncomfortable you guys were, and I felt so bad. It was some good content.
And for what it's worth, I felt bad for how sweaty and upset it made you.
okay. So that was movie night number 5, and it was released in September, so not October. That's why I was all upset about.
It's a Labor Day movie, Matt. It's end of summer jam.
But as Matt pointed out, it's going to be like February or March before it's his turn again, and that's further from Halloween.
Yeah.
So
I still haven't seen that movie, but I loved the podcast.
yeah,
That was one of your faves. You always talk about it.
Always.
And all those convictions, I still feel 100%. Not even, yeah. So anyway, thanks for replaying that. It was actually funny listening back to that. I don't think I've ever listened back to any of it. So there you go, movie club. Everybody,
You haven't gone back and watch the movie and then listen to our commentary?
I kind of want to rewatch the movie now. See how I fare. I don't know. Maybe if I lose a bet or something, that could be the punishment. All right. Let's see. We got a few more minutes left before we do our plugs. Let me do a quick bust. It makes me feel good, and then we'll GTFO and start Patreon. You guys down?
Let's
Yo.
go.
Bussin' makes me feel good.
All right, first off, I do want to. I mentioned I had a picture that I couldn't share last time of us just sleeping on the bus, and I can share that now. So if you're, just give me one moment.
You don't have the picture that random person took of you sleeping on the beach?
That's
I
right.
I do have a lot of pictures of me sleeping that other people took.
I think I took a picture of you sleeping at your bachelor party.
Everybody takes pictures of me
So did I.
sleeping because I sleep with my eyes slightly ajar.
It has nothing to do with the fact that you sleep in drawers in hotels.
No, it's not the location. It's more of just my eyes are. I
Can't believe he's really asleep. I can confirm. I've seen this with my own eyes. Like you're staring at it and you're marveling at the fact that he is in fact asleep. But his
I
eyes
could find a picture of me doing that too one of these days. But yeah, my
See if I can find that picture
optometrist
right
said
now.
my eyelids are too weak to close all the way on their own. So,
Was that racist? What was wrong with that guy?
I don't know. It's stuck with me though, and I'm like trying to work out my eyes now. But yeah, so they sleep and like my eyes dry out because I sleep with them open sometimes. But it has freaked out many a buddy during a sleepover, and it still goes on to this very day to where I'm a little self-conscious about it. But anyway, so here is the picture of us sleeping on the bus. There you go. So there's
Oh, look at that.
bunch of dudes
Wow.
just piled in. Yeah, just
just
trying to-
fishing away.
yeah. So there's one picture there. So
And if I may, I actually found the picture that I took of you sleeping at your bachelor
Really?
party.
Oh,
Yeah, I
please.
did. So go ahead and share that as well. I put the Cheeto in your mouth before
Thanks,
I took
dude.
the picture. Yep.
thanks,
Classic.
thanks for not showing me bottomless either. Like that was nice of you to crop that.
Well, you were Winnie the Poohing it, but yeah, show on the
I
podcast.
appreciate that hard crop. All right. So anyway, this is a journal entry from my road trip in 2006 where I bought a school bus with a bunch of friends and traveled the country. So it's not really a long. This one's short. This is when we went to Washington D.C. We did a lot, but I just wrote Chris Bus's Metro. That's another Chris on the trip. Chris Bus. The Metro. And weirdly, we were on a
Wait,
bus.
you had a guy named Chris.
How have we
on
done
the bus?
12 segments on this? You went with someone named Chris Buss.
You had a
Yeah.
guy named Chris Bus on the bus trip.
Yeah.
How is this coming up now?
I don't know. I've known him
Oh
my whole
my
life.
God.
Anyway, Chris Bus. So we all
Gary will never know.
bus. So we went around DC on our skateboards. We all had our skateboards except one guy, Taylor. He had a Razor scooter, and we all traveled around out off the bus around the city with that, and we were trying to get onto the metro, and we're going, and there's a lot of guys to get through this door that's closing. And it's closing on Chris Bus as he's trying to get through. And he sticks his skateboard into the doors as they close. And his skateboard is now sandwiched in between the doors. And he turns it so it props the doors open and he comes on in. And then the doors shut. And this is a shoulder-to-shoulder metro. Like there's standing room.
That's a hero move right
Like,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
There are a lot of old people standing. I think I saw Gary sitting over there. And it's just packed.
Double
And-
birds right there for you, buddy. Double
packed.
birds.
And the bus is, the metro's not moving. And they're like, you hear the intercom like, we're experiencing some technical difficulties with this train. Please stand by. And you see a guy like in a mechanic's jumpsuit just come to the door with a flashlight just looking at it. And then he like radios in something. And then they announce it's like, everybody must now please exit the bus or the train and wait for the next one. And
Hero
you're
to
just,
zero.
you're
Broke
just
the train?
feeling. You were just feeling because we're all just kids with skateboards, like, and you're just feeling everybody. Like we have changed lives. Like people are late to work. People are late to everything. Like it was so embarrassing and humiliating, and not everybody could fit onto the next train. So people had to wait. Like it was an ordeal and it was super embarrassing. And I wrote it was. It may have affected the lives of hundreds of people, and it was truly epic.
Bussin' doesn't make everybody feel good.
Yeah, and then I wrote a few nicknames that people came up with, and these are the only ones that I'll read that are still allowed to say today. Buzzkill Bus.
No. Start with the other list.
Buzzkill Bus. Cocky Loxy. That one sucked. Bad Luck Loxy. Oh, man. Why am I getting these names? Ninja Nose. I don't know. I mean, Ninja was his actual name. I mean, not his actual, but that's what we called him. So I don't know what the nose part is. And that's actually where I'll leave it because these are
Wow, those were the appropriate ones.
They're, we're young, dumb. Anyway, so that was Bussin' Makes Me Feel Good.
Bussin' makes me feel
Washington,
good.
D.C., baby. All right, why don't we go around the horn and get our plugs in before we GTFO and start some Patreon. I will start over there in Austin, Texas. Matt Fondelier, what do you suggest people check out?
Well, Chris, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but if you've never seen the comedy series Jury Duty, that is on Amazon Prime. The setup is that a guy reports for jury duty, a real guy, but everybody else on the show is an actor. And it is like mockumentary style, but there is one dude who's a part of this jury panel, and the craziest shit is happening, and he's trying to keep it all together. It is a heartwarming and hilarious show, and it's on Amazon Prime. Highly recommend it. I think there's a new season coming out too.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be jury duty though. I think they came up with a different conceit. But
Oh, okay. Well,
But it was
it's brilliant though. It's
the
so
same
good.
idea.
Yeah. All right, Gary, what about you?
Our patreon.com/watercooler. You can hear the second half of what you just listened to because we take a 5-minute break and then keep recording tonight. And then also, if you want to tier all the way up to that Mullah Money tier, you can join us for the meetup. It's Wednesday evening this week. And if you do that, then you also have the option to stay and watch us record the movie club live, which you'll receive also as a benefit from being at the highest tier. So check that out. Patreon.com/watercooler.
Hell yeah. Definitely support the show that way too. And it's you get a lot of good stuff. All right, Doss, what about you?
Well, first, to you, Chris, and you, Gary, I feel for you guys with the jury duty and the dog that sucks. The great William Shakespeare once said, and to quote Othello, that sucks, bro. So I hope you find solace in those words. As for plugs, I got to plug Dead Man's Clothes. You got to go to a thrift store and find one that returns all the money to a charity or a community, like a Salvation Army one. I was at the thrift store the other day. I got 2 killer Snap shirts and Anne Murray's Greatest Hits for $1.99. $7.50 at the counter for 2 shirts and a record. And I gave him $10 and said she was going to give me change. I'm like, can I please donate that? And she, yeah, of course. So, and it's not a lot of money. Who gives a fuck? But I felt like, do you guys know what I just got from here? And it's really cool. And especially if you smoke weed, get stoned and go to the thrift store. It's a great afternoon. That's my plug.
All right. Thank you, Dawson.
Thank you,
sounds like
Dawson.
a wonderful experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here I found this picture of us at the Lincoln Memorial. There you go. So a few guys.
Wow, look at that.
I love how
You guys all
Chris.
managed to wear different colored shirts.
Look at us. I love
Their
how
skateboards.
we cut off Abe's head though. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right. And for my plug, I'm playing at the Ordinary in Long Beach this Saturday night, 9:30 to 1:30 or 9:30 to 12:30. So
Nice.
Come on out and hang. And that will do it. We'll be back for Patreon later this week. We love you. Goodbye.